Good afternoon and welcome to KAFTAN TV. The program is The Polity. Today on Polity, first, you know what we do on Polity? We take a look at a topical issue in our polity, and then we bring it to the platform of discussion where Nigerians from diverse backgrounds examines this issue in a robust manner to deepen our democratic practice and our socio-political economy in a way to foster greater development. Today is not going to be different. Now, have you ever heard of women and men, again, complaining that our women have been neglected or that our women have been excluded greatly from participating in politics, governance, and development issues? Now, the greatest of it all is their involvement in political participation and elective offices. The figures are are not worthy of chair at all, because in the National Assembly, women form a negligible part, to the extent that the male domination in our system is unbelievable. Now today, as we hear from the National Assembly, especially from the House of Reps, a bill is in the works to reserve some seats for women. Yes, the National Assembly is working to retool our legislation and our electoral system to afford greater women access to the National Assembly through election. Now, as we hear from the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives earlier this week, the National Assembly, especially the House of Reps, will be voting on that bill, this critical bill, when they come back from recess in September. Before they come, KAFTAN TV has decided to provide greater enlightenment on this bill, the pros and cons of it. What does Nigeria hope to gain by bringing more of our women on board at various levels of governance? We have gone around the country to bring in men and a woman to talk on this issue. The program will start in earnest. We'll take a short break.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
We blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTAN TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
wait. We're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Look at what the facts are.
And as you say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
You're welcome back to the Polity on KAFTAN TV this Wednesday afternoon. Like I said earlier, our topic for today is Women Reserved Seats, a bill being worked upon by the National Assembly. I think this is in search for greater participation of Nigerian women in governance and policy making. Welcome to the program. I'm being joined by, yes, is the only one I have in the studio now, though we plan to have more. I have Mr. Ezenwa Nwagu. Mr. Ezenwa Nwagu is the Executive Director, Peering Advocacy and Advancement Center in Africa, PAAC. He's a very well-known face on the media, especially on governance issues and elections. I welcome you, Mr. Ezenwa, to the program.
Thank you. Great seeing you again.
Thank you very much. Like we said, it's been a long while since we've been together on programs.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Now, in the course of the program, more of our guests will join us. We're expecting Mr. Toba Wojaye is an engineer and a public affairs commentator. Catherine Ogunjebi is a legal practitioner, a member of the Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA, in Ondo State. We're expecting her to join us by Zoom. Now, but we have Mr. Ezenwa in the studio.
Ezenwa will be good enough.
Yes.
Will be good enough. We'll cut the distance.
Absolutely. Now, reserved seat. Okay, is it a ruse? Is it just an advocacy that we're all making to say, let us give women more rules in governance? What are we missing by not having enough women in governance? Are we just entertaining ourselves, or we were just looking for more role and a way to bring more people into elective offices? Do we really need more women in governance?
Well, first, it's to understand and underscore what this is about. It's about expanding the democratic space. There's a sense in which politics in Nigeria has been constructed around exclusion. And not just politics, there are about 4 ways in which we exclude people in participation. One is ageism. Age, yes. Not just age, but when age is deployed as an instrument of exclusion.
Oh, okay. Not too young to run.
So you hear people say, for instance, I'm older than you. And you know we have proverbs that accentuate that exclusion. What an old man sits down to see. No matter how much the boy stands, he cannot see it. Those are all exclusionary, invocations that do not help participation. And so, even constitutionally, we made it in such a way that for you to assume certain political offices, you must get to a certain age. All right? So, to be a president, you have to be 40 years. To be a senator, you have to be this number of years. To be House of Rep member, you must be 30 years. To be chairman of a local, you must. So even when I have double PhDs at 39, the constitution, the law of our own country, just excludes you. So you see what age is in. Then there is the cultural one. The cultural negative deployment of culture as an instrument of exclusion. And that's where the women come in. In many of our, cultures, the role that has been given to women is to be at the background. You are to be seen and not heard. You have to, and so this negative deployment of culture in a way that excludes people from participation is a huge challenge. The other one is debate. Don't talk. Okay? Align. Even when and then when you say, why should I align? You are dismissed. Oh, if it's Yoruba, they say it's more Peking than the warrior. It's a woman.
Yes.
So those kind of stereotypes.
Oh, can you talk like that to your husband at home?
Those stereotypes are the things that we need to deconstruct. And one way to deconstruct them is to use legislative means and approach to expand the democratic space. The political parties, by their deformation, because especially in Nigeria, political parties are owned. They are not democratic institutions. The way the political party is conceptualized is owned by money bags who decide who gets their form and place very terrible conditions for you to say you want to be president. For you to obtain form in many of the dominant political parties, you have to be looking for 100 million or above 100 million. If you want to be chairman, ordinary chairman of local government, you have to raise 20,000 naira to obtain expression of interest form. And the cultural, the age, those exclusionary tendencies also play in business and even in professional life. So you find out that young people, women, are excluded in a way that to get the resources to be able to play by the owners of this political party has excluded them. So you then have to devise a means to bring these women
on board.
So it is not a ruse. It is an existential challenge that we have to confront and deal with.
Okay. I'm being told from our studios that we need to take another break. We'll be right back. Okay.
is Sheila BCFR, the Black Comedian of the Federal Republic. I tell you, when it comes to the best of entertainment, the best of news, the best of information, something that is educative, you're right here at the best place to see that. It's KAFTAN TV. Do you know what? Increase the volume. Keep watching. Don't touch the dial, okay?
It's your girl Nkechi Blessing Sunday. I want you all to keep watching KAFTAN TV.
Please keep watching KAFTAN TV. It is the best TV station in the country. They're doing an amazing job. Please do not touch the dial. Keep watching. Thank you.
My name is Sheila BCFR, the Black Comedian of the Federal Republic. I tell you, when it comes to the best of entertainment, the best of news, the best of information, something that is educative, you're right here at the best place to see that. It's KAFTAN TV. Do you know what? Increase the volume. Keep watching. Don't touch the dial, okay?
It's your girl Nkechi Blessing Sunday. I want you all to keep watching KAFTAN TV.
In a world where information is vital to every individual, a platform where technology is a medium to pass information, you can always catch up on all information written in the newspapers, even without having one. Join us on The Press.
Reaching live from the Abuja studios.
On The Punch for this morning, the Blueprint newspaper, Nigerian Tribune this morning.
As we give you information and opinions about current events and topical issues on politics, business, sports, entertainment, weather forecast, and lots more in the local city, across all states, and across all countries. Showing daily on Startimes, channel 124, 9 a.m. West African time, only on KAFTAN TV. Stay connected with us.
That he said it is a reason why I will not do it. I pursue the federal government to pay us our damages.
YouTube, KAFTAN TV.
A very tricky one, and then the bottom line is this.
Website www.kaftan.tv.
Point is, the youth must come together. The pendulum can swing in your favor.
Instagram, KAFTAN_TV. KAFTAN TV. Imagine a beautiful world.
While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. news.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigerians are living in up to 5%. Our young people, we propose the Harmony Symphony.
It's good to have you join us on KAFTAN TV News at 7.
We found that the 10 naira card was actually sufficient.
National, foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching. Join us again at 9
KAFTAN TV News. While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. news.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigerians are living in up to 5%. Our young people, we propose the Harmony Symphony.
It's good to have you join us on KAFTAN TV News at 7.
We found that the 10 naira card was actually sufficient.
National, foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, and...
Yes, you're welcome back. We now go full throttle on polity this afternoon. We're discussing the reserved seat being planned for Nigerian women in the National Assembly by the two arms of both the Senate and the House of Representatives. Now, I have joining us now Engineer Toba Owojaye. Well, he's an engineer and a public affairs commentator. I welcome you to Polity.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Now, before we went on that break, Mr. Ezenwa Nwagu, we were saying that bringing more women into the political space is not a ruse. It's something that is needed. It's something that Nigeria will benefit from. You did not touch on the benefits that will accrue to Nigeria and Nigerians, and how it will deepen our politics when we have more of them teaming up with the men to govern.
It's an existential necessity. So if something is an existential necessity, it means that its benefits. First is, why do you have to take out a good chunk of the population of your population segment of your country, and through, first and foremost, legislative barriers, the cultural barriers that I talked about, you have to dismantle those things to harness the intuitive nature of this category. There is something they bring to the table. You have wives, you have sisters, you have mothers. What are those values, those intrinsic values that you benefit from having these people in the home? What are those values that they bring in the home? Why can't those values be translated to benefit the majority of our people? The way they see things, the empathy, that empathetic component of the woman, is important. So it's not a tokenistic thing. Yes. It's not something that you are bringing value, and that value is what is essential. But what is democracy without participation? That's what's democracy without participation? When the majority of your citizens cannot participate in the electoral process, you must continue to expand that space in a way that it brings in more people.
Okay. Now, Engineer Weye, I thought they say the place of woman is in the kitchen. Why do we want to add more to their roles? They already have enough being home managers.
Yeah, of course, they are doing well on the home front, but you see, we've seen women lead in the banking sector. We've seen some of the top MDs of banks now being women, and they're doing very well in companies. My only worry is how they would win elections. They find it hard to struggle in the electoral space that we have now. You saw what it took to bring in a Natasha. The roads were even demolished to stop voting in her place, but she had the presence of mind and will to get in. We are not fully happy with the antics going on right now with her in the Senate. She's, for me, one of the best top 3 performing senators and most performing female senators. So she can do without the drama, which is why some men are apprehensive about bringing women to the political space, because of the apprehension of, will we have an issue like this of
that's exactly
all of this drama.
While I was,
are we sleeping with you? Are they sleeping with you? They told you to sit on a seat, and from that seat make your complaint, and
it became a problem.
It has become a problem, and it is still a problem till date. So those are the questions that come to play. People tell me that Wike is a hard man, but when Wike was a governor, the vice president was a woman. When he was handing over,
the deputy governor, you mean?
The deputy governor, sorry, she became a senator. And they had one female rep, and they had also in the state assembly. That was not so much democratic. That's because they had a leader that was able to make it happen. If you had left it, yes, he had to exert himself. If you had left it to a completely democratic party politics, none of them will have emerged. So it takes very exceptional women to emerge in Nigerian politics. But when they do excellently well.
Okay.
Before we go into that, I think it's going to, engineer, it's going to benefit us more if we have a less individualistic understanding of what this space will do. You see, it's not even about whether they perform. whether one is performing, it's first and foremost that the men are not performing. They have the space.
Yes.
So what are those things that inhibit women from coming in? It is only when we have more women coming in that we can have, more of the flair that you are talking about. So let us dismantle those structures first in the political parties that limits their ability. So we don't need a strong man. We don't require one strong man to be able to assess that. So if there is no strong man, then you don't have you don't have that access. Yes, can we deconstruct, our political parties' candidate selection process in a way that is neutral? And for me, that would be the most important thing. What does that mean? For instance, in some states, they say, okay, if you have, in the local governments, for instance, this is a training ground that all the vice chairmen of the local government must necessarily be a woman. So in that way, you are beginning to train. So it's not just about tokenism. I have a worry about tokenism. I think more in terms of what are those things that can help us for people to earn their place, earn their position with pride and dignity, rather than this gifting that
I'm next.
Yeah.
Let me touch what you said, please.
Yes.
It is easier to get a vice to be a woman and tag along, because she didn't win that election. For those chairmen you are
she probably did not campaign
talking about, the chairman fought the battles and won the election, and then you can bring in a vice, a deputy that we can now come in and bring in empathy. We are talking about gender equality. You cannot guarantee equal outcome. You can guarantee equal opportunity. But once you put it to a democratic process that every vote counts, then you cannot say that a state will produce 2 women for that position.
Let me help here.
How will it play out?
Let me help here. The question I wanted to ask you before, so that I don't forget, while I was thinking about this program, what came to my mind is, we want to bring more Natasha into the National Assembly. What did we learn from the example of Natasha in the Senate?
Natasha is not a good example, and I wanted us to depersonalize this conversation. She does not represent women in this in the whatever she has displayed is not synonymous with women.
Of course,
you have had a Senator Julian Milaye who will climb trees and do all the other drama. So he's a man. So let's there are women who have been in that Senate who didn't display those kind of, whatever it is that's currently going on with Natasha. So if you don't depersonalize it, you begin to showcase, reasons why people can say, let's close the door or open it. But I am more interested in structured conversation that helps us to look at. And when I was talking about, local government, and I'm talking about, you see, many times I don't like gifts in the tokenistic sense.
Yes.
So if for instance you are brought in as vice, you begin to attend meetings, you begin to learn the process,
so you are learning.
And then you can by yourself say, I want to be part of this process. And don't forget that many of the women in the states, for instance, I've seen women who are majority leaders of their state house of assembly. They contested the elections and won on the terms of which those elections were set. But what we are saying is that because of the cultural limitations that I discussed before engineer came, those limitations are real. What is the place of women? How do society see women? All of that brings a situation in which they cannot even liberate, and that's why the reserve seat issue is coming, and that reserve issue is not a long-term thing. It is a short-term process to see how you can bridge, the gap. But the fundamental conversation must be to dismantle structures within our cultural mindset that makes it difficult for a woman. See, I present a program on TV. One of the most difficult things I have is to find a woman resource person.
Even on this program today.
You understand? It's the biggest. So not because there are some people, they say, oh, I can't come out in the time of the program. I can't come out at that time. You see that? Why? Because it is not good for women to go out at night. Who said so? Where is it written? You understand? So, but me and you, if they say the program is 8:30 p.m.,
we're there.
We go. But we don't go because we are men. We go because we have come to that socialization that we have a responsibility. That woman may be thinking about the husband, may be thinking about the children, may be thinking about what society will even think about her. Okay. So it's a mindset conversation. The response of the National Assembly is that, okay, why don't you have some seats reserved? But even when you reserve those seats, the women will still contest for it.
That's the area I wanted to add to. Now, this reserved seat, they are going to be extra, an addition to the 109 that we have in the Senate. It's going to be an addition, but they are going to contest for it. And the contest is going to be like normal election. All the constitutional requirements and the Electoral Act requirements, they will fulfill it, and they will go through elections. But it will just be an addition to what we have now. So I think the standard has not been lowered, but it's only that they have been given easier entry into the political space. With this help to have quality women join the politics.
Democracy does not think about quality. It is about the right of the women. Because once you because once you put, it's like saying that, oh, to be president of Nigeria you have to have a PhD. I don't know if you understand. That is exclusion. You are by this thing, even though you require somebody who has higher education to be able to fit into that office. But the contemplation of democracy is not for you to now put that hurdle, that wedge. So open it, people by themselves can say, okay, I want engineer, I want the illiterate Eze. It's their choice. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. It's their choice, because choice is intrinsic, is an intrinsic value of democracy. But here, what we are saying is that because of this, patriarchy, if you like, and all that culture has imposed on our society, we want to create a situation in which only women, this number of seats will not be contested by us. It will be open for women alone to contest. It's the same thing we are doing with zoning, for instance. If you zonalize, so what it means is that no matter how bright you are from southern Nigeria, if it is zoned to the north, you understand, you don't go for it. Because what is the response of that? The response is that we are trying to make sure that every part of our country, you understand, has a place on the table. But like he said, and which is very key, those designs impinge on democracy. That's the point, valid point you made there. They impinge on democracy. But you have to now create ways around inclusion. And that's what I think the valid point is.
Okay, I'm scratching my head. Okay. To provide a solution.
Yeah.
I think what can be done, we have 3 senatorial seats. Let's start with zoning each senatorial seat to women per election. So you have, for example, Kaduna North, Kaduna North, South, and Central. So for the first election, let the seats in the north be zoned to the women. By the next election, let the central zone the seats to the women. By the next election, let the south zone the election to the women. So that once in a while, they have the opportunity to contest. Because if you want to say that you are going to bring in 36 new senators, from what region of the states will they come from?
I think that would be worked out. Now we have 109 senators.
Yes.
What they are saying is that based on this new constitution, I think the constitution will take care of the number and then where they are going to come from. Now, but now that we have 109, they probably say we are going to have additional 20 to join them. So the constitution will specify how those 20 will join them. It must have been part of the law that they are working on.
You see, this is what I'm still saying, that how did Ireti emerge? We have only one senator in FCT. We have full-chested men in FCT, and she's still the senator. She emerged by a political wisdom to look at the direction that Peter B was going, saw that people love this man, even if he doesn't win presidential. Once I am holding the seat in the Senate and our elections take place on the same day, I will emerge. And without any stress, she emerged. Now she's saying there's no body language in Labour Party, and she has danced towards ADC. So even if the presidential candidates in ADC do not win, if the masses of the people vote ADC, she will emerge again. I don't believe women are daft. We're all married. Our women are very, very short. They virtually control you. So I believe that we just need, like he said, women in politics should not be seen as loose people. That's one of the first wrong instances. You see her in the night and people are asking, what is she doing in Transcorp by 11 p.m.? She is a politician. And that is when meetings take place. So what they should also learn to do is to go along with aides, go along with females, carry along a company that reduces the stigma of only you hanging around in those types of nights. It is not easy. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but those are the kind of things to push. If you are saying they're going to get 20 extra, the only way to work is to get one extra seat per state, which is at 6 states. And then we can now pick it up from there, and the women only contest that. If that happens, then you will find out that all the other 3 seats in a state, women will hardly ever get it. Because the men will say, we have given you 1 seat for free for all of you to go and contest that. We keep this remaining 3 seats. I don't think this would, for me,
engineer, you have a good point, but you see, a wave is a wave. You see, happenstance is not concrete. Happenstance may happen once, and you take advantage of that happenstance.
That's the Ireti example.
No, like I said, I try as much as possible to depersonalize conversations.
Okay.
Now, that wave that came, replicating it is in the hand of God.
The Almighty.
But there are things we can do, and we are not going to be so afraid of failing not to try. If we have reserved seats for women, the mechanics of it is being worked on.
Yes.
How that plays. There's a whole lot of thinking. But the thing about human engagement is that it's open for improvement. The challenge we have is that we don't test anything for a long time. And I'm happy you're a system person. If you put up a system, part of what you do,
monitor
and see how
it evolves.
Once there's a challenge, what do? We retool. But here, what we do is, if there's a little challenge,
we abandon.
We remove it, and then 10 years later, we start calling for the same thing we abandoned. I am more interested in one, how can we get the political parties to reduce the cost of running elections in their parties that will make self-respecting people, me and you, we don't need any godfather to find the resources to say we want, so that they don't even criminalize aspiration. They criminalize that I can't say I want to be, whether I'm a man or a woman in a political party, is the big first challenge. So all that the politicians are saying, we understand that. Activists are saying, we understand all these bottlenecks. Let us start with something that we can improve and work on. And that's why there's a timeline to the reserved seats. Let us test it. Now, if a woman becomes a senator or House of Rep member for 4 years, she should build the know-how, the network, the connections to now say, I want to, not just this concession now. She will have learned a few things with which she can now begin to aspire. But if we don't pay attention to the superstructure of contests, which is the political parties, and how their candidate selection process is organized, we may still be going back to these conversations. For me, that's what I've been thinking in my mind. I don't like to outsource a problem. It's better to confront it, and the problem is the political parties. They do not only do so in candidate selection, they do it even in the offices of the party. They have zoned woman leader to women in the political party, and like you said, they don't take every position. So when they take that position, the chairman of the party, national secretary, national legal advisor, national financial, national auditor, these are members of the working committee of the political party. In the national executive council of the party, you will be finding like 2-3 women. So the first challenge you have is that when decisions are taken in that party, the women are not even there to put a voice. Because if it is by voting, you have already been voted out.
Excluded.
So while we are fighting for reserved seats, we also must be able to pay attention to the vehicle, the SUV
that they are going to ride on.
Yes.
Together. Well, the program is polity, and we are discussing women reserved seats being planned by the National Assembly. The bill has reached a critical stage, and very soon action will be taken on the remaining parts of it. This conversation is open to participation from the general public. Our phone line will soon be displayed. You can call in and be part of the discussion. Now, we've mentioned it earlier.
Yes.
This idea of reserved seat is discriminatory.
Of course it is.
Now, and then we're talking about democracy allowing free participation by everybody. Now we are going to reserve seats for a segment of the population. They are not the only segment that is being deprived now. In fact, we have a bill not too young to run. It's because some people are saying that they are too young to run. That's why we have that.
That bill has been passed.
It's been passed. It's already an act of the National Assembly.
I can't wait for it to finish.
Yes, it's already an act of the National Assembly. But shouldn't we? I mean, if what they say, what is good for the goose is also good for the gander.